so. The question is, can Amazon stay at the top of internet retailing where it is today, or will it lose potential market to upstarts in the social networking space? It's a good question. Let's get to our guest. Jim Friedland is senior research analyst over at Cowen & Company, covering internet and new media. Bloomberg, by the way, ranks him among the best analysts covering that stock. Also with us, Chris Cunningham. He is the CEO of AppSavvy. That's a company that places ads on social networking sites customized to different activities on those sites. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Jim, I want to start with you. Your thoughts on Amazon and the outlook for this company?
We're very positive on Amazon for both the near and long term, and the reason is we think Amazon is going to gain a material share of the consumer wallet. Today it has less than 1%, 0.4.
Say that again, because that number threw me when I read about it.
Amazon has less than 1% of the consumer wallet in the U.S. today. It's actually 0.4%.
Really
so
small.
Big company, but really not that big when compared to, say, Walmart that has 9%. And we think it's positioned to get sort of Walmart-like share over a very long period of time. So while they've had a great run already, we think it's not crazy to think about that over the course of a generation, they could be 10 times bigger in the U.S. than they are today.
Chris, you buy that argument?
Not so much, actually. I mean, I think that there is some validity here, but there's components that they've done really well. That's the open web. That's their Kindle. Here's one of a very handful of companies that have actually nailed mobile and a price point for a young consumer. But where I think they're actually missing something is in the group buying capacity of the Groupons and the Living Socials. The idea that the largest digital retailer in the world has yet to crack the code on how to get consumers to be more engaged with their products outside of visiting Amazon.com. So I see a very incredible company that has a lot to be proud of, but I've yet to see them really embrace the social aspects that are in front of them.
Chris, something that worries you in terms of the social media aspect?
Well, I'd say that they could be doing a better job there because Facebook in many ways gives a platform for companies to participate and almost gives them traffic for free. And Amazon could do a much better job of sort of bringing more traffic to its website. However, they actually have, they do have an investment in Living Social. They just launched a sort of a daily deal site.
But do you want to see them be a little bit more aggressive?
I'd like to see them continue to do what they're doing, but their core is really to bring down prices as low as possible with the best selection, and they have these incredible logistics that give you almost a better experience than going to your local store, and I think that's going to be the key driver of their growth. It's not as exciting as social, but it actually, I think, is the key driver.
I mean, this is a company that makes a ton of money. It brings in a lot of revenue, doesn't it?
Yeah. We think they'll do in the mid-40s in terms of $45 billion or so in revenues this year and almost $60 billion next year.
You know, Chris, you bring up Groupon. I mean, the jury's still out. I mean, everybody's really excited about Groupon, but people say, you know, we've got to wait and really see how this plays out. I mean, do you think something like a traditional Amazon is going to get lost, though?
I think it's impossible for them to get lost. I do think they should have taken $8 billion from Google potentially a few months back. But ultimately, what I see in these companies right now is a new age of reaching people, both on the local aspect, on elements that actually make buying more fun. So as I mentioned earlier, I think Amazon right now needs to step up, pay attention, given they do have their investment in Living Social. That's smart, but they need to be still more aggressive and keep up with some of the other.
They need that in order to succeed going forward.
To your IPO question, yeah, I mean, I look between LinkedIn, Zynga, soon to be Zynga, of course, the news with Pandora recently. There is a lot of activity. There is a large bubble as it remains with Groupon. I think there's still a lot of revenue sort of potential. The jury's out on where their revenue is really going to come to justify that sort of valuation.
Chris, how important is the brand that Amazon has? I mean, I hear that they could do more of what Groupon does, but they don't have the name Groupon, and that's where you go when you want that kind of deal. You know, can they turn their brand into something bigger than the businesses that they want to mimic and do better than?
It's a great question. I mean, I think the truth is they don't need to necessarily rebrand Amazon. I mean, most companies would do anything to have a brand like Amazon, but what they need to do is to at least open up. And I know Jeff has been quoted in saying he needs to get more aggressive. Their company needs to get more aggressive, not get stagnant. It's very clear with big companies, they try lots of things. They sometimes get it right, other times they don't, but they need to be aggressive.
Chris, what about the issue, though, of states starting to tax purchases made on Amazon? How's that going to change kind of the business model for the company?
Well, the question is when will it happen and what will the impact be? If you look
I'm sorry, Jim. Yeah.
Sure. If you look at Amazon today, they actually collect sales tax in their international business. That's half their business. Then in the States, they collect taxes in 5 states, and then a few states don't collect taxes. So there's probably about 35 to 40% of the revenues that are actually exposed. So it's not as big of an issue as people think.
But it's a big issue.
It still is an issue. But the other thing is that if you took sales tax out of the picture, Amazon still offers lower prices. So there is an added advantage because when there's no sales tax, maybe they're 10% cheaper.
Right.
Well, you know, with the sales tax, they're actually 5% cheaper. So there could be a bit of a slight bump if all the states together at once could actually push this forward. But there's actually a lot of hurdles from a legal perspective and a constitutional perspective. You can't just snap your finger. They truly need an act of Congress to really get this settled all in one shot.
So it's more complicated. 10
Can I
seconds.
make one more
Jim.
point? I mean, the reality of it is outside of them having to be aggressive, there's more competition. If you look at the music category alone of Amazon, you have Rhapsody, you have Pandora now. It's going to be impossible for Amazon to own the entire market. You're going to find smaller companies are going to own one thing, and they're going to own it really well.
This is going to change, certainly. Chris Cunningham, Jim Friedland, thank you so much. I appreciate it.